Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. It is May the 16th, and we are about 3 hours after the closing bell. I'm your wealth guy. Let's talk money. Let's talk market wrap up. So everybody, as per usual, thank you very much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate that you've tuned in. Now, if you do like this content, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the markets. But let's get into it, because today the volatility still continued. So we saw roughly a 500-point swing on the Dow between the low of the day and the high of the day before we finished pretty well neutral overall. Now, what we really needed to see today was a rally in the market just to help confirm whether or not we're approaching or near a bottom here and whether or not momentum will start to switch to the upside. Ideally, another day of positive momentum tomorrow would have been great. However, we didn't get that. Instead, today what we got was additional volatility or continued volatility before the markets remain neutral. Now, that's not entirely negative. Again, what we're seeing here is a tremendous amount of support at this level, meaning that yes, there are definitely buyers, but the buyers here are able to hold off the sellers. So that's, although not as positive as it would have been had we seen the market move to the upside and hold, because at one point the markets were up about 250 points, at least on the Dow. That would have been great. Instead, we did get that final neutral, and the Dow ended up closing only about 26 points in the green. The S&P actually did finish slightly in the red and just below that 4,000 point mark. But NASDAQ, no surprise. Again, it still continued fear, especially when it comes to looking at interest rates. The NASDAQ was down 142. Toronto, however, was up about 106 points. So we are having some positive momentum here. It's just not holding at the levels that we like, or at least I should say the positive momentum isn't pushing the way that we'd like. But again, not all bad news. We were able to hold off the sellers again. So positive sign, indication of some support here. Hopefully we can continue to hold it. But taking a look at the rest of the market today, crude continued to move upwards again. So today we're now pushing over 111 on West Texas. No surprise here. We're probably going to see that continue, especially now that we've hit some records here on gas. Natural gas was up, heating up. So energy is up. Agriculture was up. Even livestock was up. Gold is currently up about $10. Silver is also up about 7.5 cents. So overall, other markets are actually performing quite well. The equities, again, holding these levels strong here. Hopefully they continue to do so tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow has in store for us, because we do have a significant amount of information coming through. Tomorrow's a big retail day. So we're going to have core retail numbers. We're going to have retail sales numbers. We're going to have FOMC Harker speaking. And we're also going to have later on in the day at 2 o'clock, Fed Chair Powell speaking. And I think what Powell has to say could potentially impact the markets tomorrow. Ideally, it would be great if he added some calm to the markets, just suggesting that there isn't going to be a 75 basis point increase, but rather they're going to continue to focus on that 50 basis points. Not seeing a heck of a lot of positive information out there as far as economic news is concerned, but if he again holds that 50 basis points, it could add some calm to the markets, bringing some stability going forward. But other than that, the retail numbers, not sure what to expect there. At the same time, we still have major retailers reporting earnings this week. So a combination of the two could potentially move the markets in any direction. And I guess we'll have to see what tomorrow has in store. Those retail numbers are coming out at 8:30, so probably just in time to catch my morning report. But otherwise, if we take a look at cryptocurrency, crypto continues to sputter, not really getting any positive momentum here. Bitcoin is back over 30 grand, but nothing really pushing it much higher than that. Ethereum currently sitting at 2033. Same thing. Current 24-hour lows at 3.4% for Bitcoin and 4.5% for Ethereum overall. The one other thing we should really take a look at here is the 10-year yield, because the 10-year yield today remained pretty well flat all day, currently sitting at 2.886. Would love to see this 10-year yield just start to creep slightly higher, especially as the US dollar loses a little bit of momentum as well. I am seeing a little bit of a fear trade still kind of trickling here in the background, but again, the momentum to the downside is starting to waver. Hopefully we can continue to see that. Otherwise, as I say all the time, watch two things right now. The S&P 500, make sure that it holds this 4,000 point mark or approximate. The other thing is watch that 10-year yield. As long as we're not seeing any extreme spikes and multiple sessions, then we are not at that point where there's going to be a potential collapse of the markets and the implosion of the debt market. But that's it, everybody. Today's a short one. I will see you tomorrow morning at the opening bell.